wanted to watch this documentary for like a long time. I had it like sitting in my watch on a stream playlist.
I saw
But
the
yeah.
city in the deep, deep distance that was doesn't have activity, but very different from DMT.
But yeah, to be honest, since I am doing drugs, I feel much more better.
From tryptophan. Right.
I mean, like,
Trivial.
it's not that I really want to like endorse drugs. Doing them is not like, cause we've seen like so many times how much like drugs were like made evil and all that stuff. Like everybody is always like, oh, you will see a Satan when you do them. Like this is evil, this is bad and stuff. But like it depends what kind of like the mindset you come to when you start doing drugs. It's kind of sad to me whenever I read any time that people are like, ooh, like the smoking weed just makes me more anxious and stuff and whatever. It's like, I feel sad because it's like, whenever I am smoking, I'm like literally the opposite of that, the way it's like supposed to be in the quotations, you know, because that's what the drug's supposed to do, make you like happier and shit. I don't know, it's just like, I always like felt, you know, I wish I could give those people who are like more anxious after weed, just to give them this like feeling of not being anxious, you know? What do I know? I'm autistic. I don't have empathy. I don't fucking understand it.
Enzymatic steps from
Well, yeah.
tryptophan. Well, tryptophan is an amino acid, of course, and it's everywhere. So all organisms have tryptophan. And
Autism is
all
superpower.
organisms have the two key
Say it
enzymes.
louder to the people in the back.
Things had no real function.
And also I wanted to like say something because, what is it? Excuse me, Ray, I have to move you. I have a very nice and very smart book that I bought, which is like this one. And while reading that, I'm like coming to the thinking that people really want to like make themselves like feel much more worse, you know? It's like in this book there is said like throughout the history marijuana was like used for everything, like it was literally everywhere, like the clothes, anything you used. Why do we as a humans, as a, you know, living being on this earth, why do we make shit worse for ourselves? Like we literally used marijuana for everything, like it was everywhere. Everything that you touched was like made out of it. Like it was literally like a, I don't know, Midas touch, like it was literally a gold. Weird to me how we are making everything harder for ourselves. Like literally in this book, it's like the history, the stuff, the overview of things. You make shit harder for yourself because anything that you always used, it's just like now banned. Like we literally had like, and like anything that we used was the weed. So it's like now that we don't use it, we just like try to make it more evil than it is, even though it was the, you know, facade of our like life. Like it was literally something we used every day and it was fine and nobody was complaining, you know? And it's just like weird to me how we as humans try to like, not even we, but like those bigger people, all of those fucked up politicians and all those shitheads above, trying to make shit harder. Cause like, I don't know what it is. Either you are really like not educated enough and you don't even know history even though you live so fucking long. Like as we established yesterday, Trump should fucking die already because it's like, dude, you are too old to doing that. Like, I think the level cap for politicians should be like 40. After that you are retired and go to, you know, and go away, you know. But it's like, I think this is like the most stupid thing, reading this book, like, and even like researching stuff by myself. I am like, shit, we literally had the whole civilization being held by like one goddamn plant. And now we just can't? Why is it so hard? The people were like born and the civilization came to be. You literally did like the betrayal on the weed, you know? It's like you literally betrayed something that raised you, made you, and all that stuff. It's like so weird to me now that I think of it, you know? Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, whenever I'm reading this book about marijuana, I'm like, fuck, we literally fuck ourselves. It's literally like we throw barrels under our own goddamn legs. It's like, goddamn, why? Like, why we are making our life harder? It's weird because it's like we think that if we develop more technology and we make stuff more like modern, we do want those AI, all those other things, but it's like you just should go back to the roots first, because like we literally, at this point, we literally forgot that we were like very how do you say this? Oh, the fucking word. I forgot the fucking word. We were very like developed people in those like older times, you know, like ancient China and other like, you know, thousands of years ago. We were much more developed. From anything that I read, it's like it sounds like we were much more modern in those older times, and it's just like weird to me why we are going backwards. And I think that technology, it's not like bad. I don't want to like make technology sound like it's evil and bad and it shouldn't be there, because I'm using it. I'm like connecting with other people. I literally live stream and do stuff that I love so much on the PC, you know? I think that some parts of like the technology and the expanding of the technology just makes like things worse. Like we make it worse for ourselves, you know? We try to, as hard as we can, make other things think for us, even though we really shouldn't, you know, because like we were much more like advanced in those like older times with this like using weed as everything than we are now. I think, you know, people were much more developed. But yeah, that's what I think, and I think it's just like we really should go back to the roots, you know. This is why I'm always like saying that I am pagan, because it's like not even that I am like practicing, but I am pagan because I want to like believe, go and use nature. We used to use it before, and it's just like I would like to go back to that. Like I would like to do the thing where I am literally just like surrounded like in a forest and stuff, but I could still use my PC and like stream all of this stuff to other people and just like show them like how you can just live totally like in a forest, but also like use the technology, but like not use the technology in a way that it's just replacing everything that you do, because like I think that's stupid. I don't like smart houses, I don't like robots that much, you know. It's cool aesthetic and stuff, like I get it from this point, you know. It's like cool aesthetic. It would be cool if I'm like sick and the robot is doing something for me. Like sometimes I find it like really nice to have this kind of technology, but like nowadays people want to like really have this race to like change everything into something that does this for you, you know? Like I understand some like things being discovered, like for example we are laughing about those sex robots, but it's like people, there's like so many like incels who literally cannot grasp anything. They cannot grasp anything, like physically and mentally, you know. If they can't have a girlfriend, then at least they will have a robot, you know. And I think that's good, because they will just like throw all of their frustrations, instead of like abusing the human, they will abuse the robot, you know. I know it kind of sounds bad to like abuse the robot and stuff. I think it would be much more like better, because you can always like replace this robot. It's like something you can replace. You cannot replace the person who gets killed or kills themselves and stuff. So I don't know, that's like my thought, you know. I'm trying to be like more philosophical lately, you know. Yeah. I mean, not understand. I can just like think of a way, like if I was like a guy who cannot get a girlfriend in any way, and the life is hard and stuff and everything else that the incels have to get through in their lives, I would rather have a robot, not even love, but will be there no matter what, and I can just like replace it parts if I just like lose control over myself and like accidentally I kill it. And it's like I think it would be better, because humans like also have this thing where no matter what you say, you will always be bad to other person, and it's like no matter how much people say like they are good, they believe in good people and they are just like acting good as much as they can, but like I don't believe that those people who are like the saints and stuff can really be good to everybody. Like I bet you as they for sure disrespected somebody at some point. I really do think that the robots would be good. I don't know, that's just like my light thoughts, you know. It's just like thing that I wasn't really like thinking much. But I think it would be good. I really have this like belief that people should stop like making the technology to replace the living part of people's life, but they just like make it as some kind of like a complementary thing, like something that helps you, you know, not just like replacing everything with technology, because I think this is the trajectory that we are doing right now, and it's like I don't think it's good. I don't think I want it. Like, for example, I fucking hate phones, you know. I fucking hate that the phones have to like be this thing that does everything, you know. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't want this. I want to think for myself, you know. I want to use the calculator because I cannot count that much and I was always sucky in math, but it's like I don't want my phone to just like do everything for me, you know. Yeah, I've got two hands and they aren't going to yell at me. Yeah, that's also the thing. Like, some people just like aren't made to be with other person, no matter if this other person really treats them well, you know. It's sometimes like no matter the amount of love bombing, this person is not going to like open themselves fully, you know, but because I think that humans have this kind of like a thing that kind of stops some of them, you know. Yeah, but those are my thoughts, and like I hope that I am sounding somewhat coherent, but it's just like this thing that I think.
There is a big similarity between psychedelics and experiences that were possible with a lot of meditation.
Yeah, honestly, like this is also why I'm kind of like would like to get into the lucid dreaming thing, because I feel like I would like expand the power of my brain a little bit more. And by that I mean I really feel like sometimes going to work and like talking with other people and just like existing with other people and just like even learning stuff from them, I kind of feel like I get much more stupid, you know. I'm not thinking that those people are stupid, like most of the time they are, but like I don't think that all the people I ever worked with are stupid, but like I think I get much more stupider when I am at work. And like I'm talking about the work that I must do just because there's like no other option for me, and it's just like something that I have to do to get more money. And like, you know, I think that people should like really meditate much more, because people have like so much of like shit going on in their head. Like that looked funny in like whenever I played Life is Strange, and there was this like guy who was constantly like angry all the time, and whenever I was approaching him he was always like fucking on the edge and stuff, you know. And it's just like literally everybody else have this in their mind, and like even though this guy was trying to like meditate, I don't think it's like not everybody can do this like by themselves, you know. It's like sometimes it would be like better to have like guided meditation, not even through the tapes and stuff, but like guided like with somebody. And like I think that people really would benefit. They meditated or they like spend like at least, I don't know, 20 minutes just like trying to calm their head and stuff, and just like not really worry or care and whatnot. Like I think that I feel much better, and I think that I would be probably much worse person if I was still like watching TV or like caring about things or like having the social media. I think I would be much more worse person, because it's like all of this stuff that are bombarding me. This is why I say I don't care about things, even if they are like a war and people getting genocided and stuff. I don't care, because it's like, first, I'm not going to do anything with that. Like I am literally, it's impossible for me to do anything with that, you know. If there were like much more people wanting to do something about, then it would work, but like one person won't. I won't have anybody to like connect and do those stuff and work on that. But it's like, I think that, how to say it to make it have sense, not just in my head. But I think like if people were just like caring less about things, the way like for example I do this, like I don't really have any social media, I don't give a shit what's going on. If like there's like a bigger thing going on, I will have like a few posts on Tumblr like circulating, and that's all, and that's how I know. And I don't need like anything, because it's going to come to me anyway, you know. Like the most important informations I'm going to acknowledge them anyway. So like I don't care about being in this, you know, sphere of acknowledgement, you know, the thing that everybody does with like social media and everything, because it's going to like come to me anyway, you know. It's not like I am actually just like living under the rock and I don't know shit about shit. It's like I know and I will know that, but like I choose not to like overthink it or care, because I'm not going to do anything. If the world is going to end, I won't be able to do anything with it. Because like it's so hard for people to just get together and like, for example, change something, do something. Even with the voting right now, it's like, wow, Trump won again. What a fucking surprise, you know? People are idiots anyway, you know? You really fucking believe in the shit, you know? And it's just like... That's just what I think. It's not like I really don't care, because I care, but like I choose not to pollute my mind with like overthinking that. Like I overthink enough to just like not have to like overthink about those things, you know? I just think that people would like benefit from like cleaning their brain. I don't know how to like call this, but I could call this way, like it makes sense for me, but yeah, I just think that like it would be better. I'm not saying like, yeah, start doing drugs and you won't care about a thing, you know, because like you can still care about stuff and be on drugs, you know, but yeah, I'm just saying that people should just like come back to the nature again. You know what I mean? Like connect with the nature, because nature is like, it's going to regenerate and rebuild itself. Even if it's like in different form and in different place, but it's going to, and people just like should really not get inspired, but just like take the you know, the example from plants, you know.
Creativity, imagination, dream state.
Like I think whenever I started to trip for the first time, I think that it's not just like the hallucinations are stuff like just coming out of nowhere. It's like the stuff that come deep inside from our brain, I think. And the amount of drugs makes you like either like get like deeper into your consciousness or like be on more shallow levels of it, you know. And that's what it also like people, whenever they talk about like drugs and stuff, they talk about consciousness, but it's like I try to like, whenever I was like tripping on shrooms the first time, I tried to just like, I kind of knew what it is because I was like reading about it, watching some stuff about it, you know. I was like trying to like embrace it. I was trying to like give into it, but still be like aware what is going on. I try to just like experience it, but also like try to remember as much as I can and feel as much as I can. There were like a lot of things going on. Like I literally was like feeling like I'm going to shit myself. That's a normal thing whenever you get, you know, take mushrooms. It's like your tummy can hurt and like you can feel like you want to shit yourself, but it's not. I think it's like whenever I try to do this, like each time I try to do this, I try to like get a lot of this experience. And it kind of like reminds me of, I used to watch Shaman King so much, like this older anime, not the new thing that came like in 2021 or something, but like I was watching it and there is this like one, not even one scene, but like there is this like storyline where all of the shamans, like you and like everybody else, were trying to like get some kind of answers how to get to this village, how to get to this shaman village through like the vision what other shamans were seeing when they were like cured by Zeke, you know. And it's like, y'all probably don't even know what I'm talking about if you never watched Shaman King, but it's like the scenes make sense because they were like entering those memories of those ghosts, and like they were like trying to get much more like details and stuff. They were like, oh, I've seen something here, I've seen something there, or the sun was like more red or something. Like they were trying to get something to know where this village was, because it wasn't like, yeah, they give you map and like go there, you know. They had to like find it themselves with their shaman powers and stuff. Kind of like a mindset that I was using whenever I was like doing shrooms, and also whenever I am just like even doing the silly smoking weed, you know, and stuff. Like I always try to just like explore a little bit more of what I am feeling and trying to remember more and trying to be like what I did that this happened, or like what I did that I felt a little bit more different or something. That's the mindset I'm coming to, like whenever I am just like doing the drugs and stuff. And like, you can fucking put me to prison, but like what wrong am I doing? That's also like my question. Like, why people have to be prosecuted for trying to explore their mind. That's like the worst thing. Like, I'm not really like discovering like anything like E equals MC square or whatever. Like, I know that's the thing. I know that people are just like, you know, free thinkers get like freaking dead, you know, they get like killed because they try to free think, you know. I really think like some people would benefit from that, mostly those people who really are against it. Because, like, it's so funny to me, because, like, also, whenever my boyfriend tells me about something from his life, it's like, he used to, like, be against drugs, and now he's, like, a freaking, you know, going into it every single day. And it's just, like, so funny to me, like, even a person who is, like, so against it can, like, start, like, not be against it. And it's just, like, wonder what kind of, like, things made him think that, you know? And all that stuff. I don't even remember if he told me that or not, but like, everybody can change for the better if they just like open themselves for something, you know? If they are just like not being like, oh, that's bad, and everybody says it's bad. But like, you have to try it, you know? Of course, it's not like, oh, if somebody like puts their hand to the fire, are you gonna do the same? No, I'm not going to, because I know fire is bad. But open your brain for more stuff that are unknown to you, that you never experienced, you know? Even if something is known to you and you see it every day, you might not just like, you might not be into it, but like, you could at least open your mind to it. That's what I think.
Hallucinatory phenomenon.
Yeah, it is, but like, I think that's like a timeless thing. This book is from, if you read this book ever, like, I'm going to show it again, if you will ever read this book, it's like from, let me see, ouch, where is the years and stuff. This book is from, can I like show it? It's from these years, see? That's a pretty old fucking book. It's from 1978, you know? No, it's not really outdated. It's not, because most of the stuff that are in this book are like still going on, and some things aren't like just going to be outdated. The same as this documentary. It's like everybody is going to tell you always the same stuff, and just like more things are going to be like discovered about a given topic, but like the skeleton of this topic, you know, the things are still the same, you know, the main things about that are still like the same, and it's not like outdated. Like, maybe there is much more information now in like 10 years more after, you know. Why do we have to like experience stuff really fast? Like, that's what I also don't like about you know, the technology rapidly just like evolving and stuff. And that's why I think that the, you know, anything that we do as a humans is just like, we have enough time in a day to do things. We kind of like changed our like mindset, and if people stopped being just like focused on things, I feel like probably Earth and everybody would benefit from it. But like, I don't think it's like even possible. We would have to just like restart and like have like new humans and do this stuff like differently, you know. We have to just like delete this save file, you know. But those people who actually can do that, they really benefit a lot. And like, I think that people who like have this need to live off the grid, not having to participate in this like modern world, million times better life, and just like, I wish I could just do that. It's funny to say like some people weren't made to work, you know, like for example, like some people just can't really like have the job because it's like not something that they can't do because they can, but it's not something that really works out for them, and it's not something they want to do, and it's just like literally killing them if they are doing this. For example, I think I wasn't made for a job because like I don't benefit in any way from having a job. Even you know, even while having the paychecks and stuff, I don't think that I benefit. Like, I don't feel like, I feel good whenever I can just like buy like a bulk of noodles and just like eat them, or like buy other stuff, or just like buy all of those dinghies I have there, like all of these keychains. But like, it's not like something that, if I had a choice, I would probably just like resign from having all of the money that I have. Yeah, I think just like people having the really fast lives like they do now, it's like you have enough time of a day to do things. And it's funny to me whenever people are like always like talking shit, like, oh, I don't have time to do anything, I'm mom, I'm dad, I have kids, I have work, blah blah blah. Then just like, did you really wanted to have kids? Did you really wanted to like be with somebody? Like, people do things because they just like have to do those things, but it's like, do you really have to do this? Like, think of that. Like, it's kind of like weird to me whenever people are just like blaming everything else on the fact that they don't have time, but it's like, you did it, that was your choice for the most part. Maybe you shouldn't do stuff that you don't really want. Like, it's not like I'm talking shit about like all of those moms who got like raped and now want to like raise their kids, or like the moms that got like kids at the very like young age and they didn't want to abort them and stuff. Like, I don't talk shit about those people. It's like, it happened and you want to like have this little living thing and you want to like make it grow and stuff, that's fine. But like, I'm saying from this perspective where people do stuff like consciously, you know, and they are just like, oh, I don't have time for anything, like my life is just bad because like I have work, I don't have time to even relax. Like, you would have time if you made like the real conscious decisions, like conscious, you know, like with your consciousness, you know, not like because like, oh, I have to like fulfill those things. Like, people literally live like Sims, and it's like, that's what I actually don't want to like do. And it's like anytime you think of that, there is like this option in Sims where you can like turn on free will and they will just do stuff. And like, I think that somebody should, maybe I would even do that. Like, once whenever I will be playing Sims, I will just leave this sim to like have a free will. And like, I bet that probably the program is, you know, the sim is programmed the way that it will survive. I bet there is probably videos like that too, but I would like to like just see it by myself, you know. And I just think that this is what she said. It's like all of those people who like, you know, who were like just trying to discover how to make like the alcohol experience just like really fast. It's like, it should be always like this kind of stuff that are like connected to the brain, with the brain, and just like change something in your mind should be like the experiences that are gradually experienced. That's what I think. Like, life should be like gradually experienced, you know. If it comes to like drugs and alcohols and all of the things that you can use, I think that takes a moment. Like, I also don't really like alcohol because it's like, oh, you will drink the given amount and then it's just like, you know, you just go and like, it's not even fun, you know. It would be just like good to experience things. I started to like doing drugs because it's like, it takes a little time and it's like a funny joke, like, oh, whenever you eat edibles, oh, that edible ain't shit, and then just like it hits you and it's like, whoops. But like, I like the fact that it's just like gradually doing the thing. Yeah, that's why also the drugs were like religious and spiritual things too, because religion shouldn't be just like something that you do because you have to. Like, oh, I gotta pray, I gotta go to the Sunday mass and stuff, blah blah blah. But like, yeah, that's what also like makes me angry. It's like, why do we do that? Yeah, and also like, we accept drunkenness, but it's like, it's even worse, because literally, why do we accept people like getting drunk if literally the next thing they do is like drive over a woman and a baby on a freaking, you know, zebra whenever they walk through the street? And it's like, that's literally the next thing that happened. Like, and while people are drunk, that's literally the next thing they do. Literally, anytime you hear about somebody being drunk, the next thing is either they beat somebody, or either they killed somebody, or they started to abuse somebody, or like some other shit gone wrong, you know. That's the thing. But like, when this happened like with drugs, unless it's like somebody who has just like some maybe psychotic kind of things and they shouldn't take drugs, you know, unless it's like normal people, literally this is like the last thing. Whenever you smoke weed, it's like, it's the last thing. You would be just like grab the knife and kill somebody. Like, and even whenever you are watching like a horror or something and there is like the person like being high and there's like other person who is like killing and stuff, they're like, oh, what is going on? What's up? They are even defenseless, like nothing will happen. You know? And when you approach a drunk person, literally the first thing they think is like to defend themselves, you know? And to be aggressive. Why don't we have prohibition again, you know? Like, I really think that alcohol should be just like destroyed completely. Like, it shouldn't be a thing ever. And like, it's weird to me why we haven't done this for so many like years. Wow, you would rather have like people just like getting drunk and killing others than just having people who are just chilling. And it was the most weird to me whenever I started to learn about like hippies and their culture and stuff and what was going on. Like, that was so weird to me. Like, I understand some hippies had like weird kind of like, you know, the thinking, you know, and they were just like a little bit too extreme with some of their like things and stuff, you know, but like most of the time they were just like, what were they doing? Like, for example, look at Jim Morrison. Like, he was literally just like singing about this stuff he was seeing in his like, you know, the higher state, and it's just like, does it sound bad? Like, for example, I very much like his song Whiskey and Mystics and Men. Like, that's the most beautiful song ever, and it's just like, people should literally just like change their mind. Like, there should be some kind of revolution happening, you know. I wish I could just like be in this revolution, you know, wherever it's happening. I would like to like participate in it, because it's like living in this like shitty poopy life right now where it's just like people getting drunk and it's like everything about like voting for the worst person ever possible, and then just like also having everything be around money. It's like that's not the life. We are literally like living in a prison, and it's like so funny, you know. Yeah, like this is why I'm trying to like live my life better. This is why, for example, I did like think that for my mother, it's like unspeakable that I literally left my job and I just resigned from it because I was feeling mentally well. Like, for her, it wasn't even like a good explanation, you know, even though she was like studying psychology and stuff, and she was saying like, oh, that's like, studying that helped me like voice my like opinions more and like my thoughts. But like, so what if you are, well, if you aren't like opened more for other people's thoughts and feelings? And it's like all you do in your life is like being focused on money, and like literally the fact that I am like, and it's so weird to me because I don't think like I am a failure in life. I think that I am much better. Like, normally people would start working like when they are 17, 16, 18 or whatever, but like I started working just like a few years ago, you know. I started to work like 6 years ago, and like I don't mind that. Like, I don't think I am a failure because I am like unemployed. I think that I am much better than other people because at least I have like control over my life and I am not being like controlled by others, you know what I mean? And it's like, I have my own feelings. I can just like, yeah, I know it will get you far, but because of the money, you know, unless you are doing something that you really like, for example, if somebody loves to be like singer or producer or whatever, they will just do that, you know. But like, I'm talking about the work that people doesn't really wanna do. Like, if somebody wants to do this, then that's fine. And it's like funny to me because I don't think I would even be able to like describe the world that would be like without the shops and like without any other things that we have to pay for. But that would be possible because that's how people in like the tribes still live in the Amazon, deep in the jungle, and we don't even know about it, but like their lives are much better than ours. People having this like whole thing a little bit wrong, because going forward doesn't always mean like, I think going forward would be if we just like got backward a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like if we just like came back and like stopped and thought about what we are doing and just got back to the previous state, you know. No, I'm not saying that times. Like, I don't mean those times. Like, you're probably thinking about the times, like the past times in like Greece or like other like places where there was like a democracy or no democracy. There were like people and they could vote or not. No, I'm not talking about those times. I don't think this is even like a thing in those like tribes in Amazon or whatever. I don't think they have this kind of like stuff. Like maybe they have like the woman doesn't vote, but it's not because they are women, but because it's like of different reason. I cannot think of any because I never like really read that much about it, and I don't think that people even know and would understand the reasoning for some stuff, how tribal people used to and have now. I don't think we would understand this because our worldview is a little bit like very, it's like very cramped in this one way of thinking. You know what I mean? It's like, and we won't really become like much more open. Like some people will be like, probably I would like to be very much open for like new way of thinking, and I would like to just like explore that, but I don't think that most people would. And I'm not even saying about old people, but I think young people now with all of this brain rot and stuff, I don't think they would even like, they have this like in their DNA now. Like it's very deeply rooted in them.
Those in power at the top.
And the worst part is that for our society now, people who just are doing this, like for example, you would think these guys fucking mentally ill and they are dangerous, but all they do is just like move their body. And it's like so funny to me when people are like, those people that were literally shown in this like scene, it's like you would think that they are dangerous, they are like some kind of like possessed or something, but this is how their body move. And it's like the mind view that, the world view that we have injected to us from like higher ups and stuff, I think it's like wrong. Because why would this person be dangerous to you if they are literally just like dancing and moving their body the way their body just moves? It's not always going to like look beautiful and stuff, it's not always going to look like, all of those hoes like twerking and stuff. Like I don't think that's good. Like, I think this kind of, like, dancing is, for example, much nicer and better looking than people, the way they dance now, And I think just, like, moving your body, it's like, whenever somebody moves their body differently, it's, like, so dangerous to people, like, mostly. Also, like, for example, like, even with disability, it's, like, people move different ways. Like for example, like I have some stuff that I developed because I was working for 12 hours every day for 4 years, and like I developed some stuff where I am not going to walk the way like bitches in their 30s walk now, I'm not going to like look very gracefully whenever I move. I have like some things that I just cannot get over. Like maybe if I started to like work out, but until I do this, I don't look the way like, people in their 30s look now. That's the thing. Like I was like so much criticized at this work that I was now for the way I move. Like for example, whenever I was doing something with the very heavy pan and I had to like, put some food to the, from the pan to the bowl and stuff, like I had to like hold the pen in a very weird way. That's not the way my hand bend, and it's just how it works. People being criticized for the way they move their body is just like mind-boggling to me. Like I was so much criticized there for like how am I walking, how am I like doing stuff and whatnot. Like that's the way I cut things, that's the way my hands work, that's the way they just like bend. Like I cannot like change it. This is how it works. This is how I learned. Like it was so fucking annoying to work, and it's like weird to me. Like fucking let me do things the way I do. Like that was always like bothering me, and it's like I always had this like different way of walking and saying stuff, and like I know I'm bobbing my head all the time, but that's how my back works, Hippies in documentaries just like moving this way, it's like fuck, they are possessed. And like I would understand why people would be just like thinking that, doing drugs would make you like look like you are possessed for somebody who doesn't know what this person is doing, Like that all comes from like not being open for things. And this is why I never just like even judge people by the way they look or they move. It's just like, that's the way they do. It's like if I will say something, they will say something back like, oh, you do this, you do that. So that's why I'm not doing it.
That makes it possible for you to take some big leaps and receive some big gifts.
Yeah, to be honest, I remember like whenever I was like tripping on shrooms, I kind of remember that at some point I started to feel like kind of uneasy and kind of like unsafe, but it's probably because at this one moment I kind of like forgot that I am like in a safe space, in a safe room, and nothing will really like happen to me. But like I also like remember that, wait, actually my boyfriend is sitting next to me, nothing is going to happen to me, and even if something happens, then I bet he will probably try to like get me back to life or something. So it's like I was like, for 1 second I was feeling unsafe, and then again I just like try to like connect with myself and be like, wait, you are actually safe, what the fuck is wrong with you, dummy? You are safe, you are going to like get through it, you know? And like as long as I am like not really doing anything, then I will be just like safe. Because like at first I was like really afraid to like get up and do stuff. Like for example, when I first got when first time I tried edibles, like it was just a gummy, you know, it was just a silly weed gummy. But at some point I was like, I wanted to get to the bed, and it's like there's like the desk I was sitting at, there's like the desk next to me that my boyfriend was sitting at, and I was just in a chair, and the bed was just like literally like behind me, but like I couldn't move. And it's like, as long as I know that I won't have to like move or do anything, I know I will be safe, because like whenever I will try to move, fall down or something, but then like I kind of like a little bit overcame that, because with the third time, I think whenever I was doing shrooms, it was like I could just go with my boyfriend to the porch, and we were there, and I was still like pretty high, you know, I was still like in a state of like weird fucked up stuff that I was having in my mind, you know, but I managed to like go to the porch, you know, and it was just like fine. This is what I'm trying, like with each time I am trying, like I try to kind of like not train my body, but just like get from my comfort zone, safe way, safe environment, and like in this like very controlled way that I am just like deciding like I'm going to do one more step, and then it works, then I'm going to do another step, and I will stop the whole like research, as I could like call this for myself, you know, whenever I would feel like bad or something, then I would just stop it. And it's like that's how I was like always approaching that, and that's why I'm always like I would like to try more, and I would like to just like devote my life to it, but like a bigger portion of like things that I'm about to do, I would like to do this kind of stuff, research myself, because like I don't really care what is going on around the world unless it's like a danger is gonna come to me, you know, that's when I will start like really caring. But like as long as I am just like at home safe, I'm just going to like do those stuff and like research myself, you know, until that kind of like a thing like Last of Us will happen to us, then I will start caring, you know. But until then I'm just going to like mostly like focus on myself and my things and my research and like experiencing stuff. This is also why I have this like series on my YouTube channel where it's like I literally call those like experiences, like experience the end of like Xenosaga with me, experience this or that, like that's why I'm calling it, because like I really treat like playing the games, even if I'm like, even if you might think that I rush through them, or like I play them too fast, or like I don't have them like, you know, don't do the collecting and 100% in the game, then it's still like I experience the game as much as I can and as much as I would like to. And that's why I always call like the more like important games for me, that's why I always upload the video, like, you know, experience, like, you know, the fight in like Phantasy Star Online or something. That's the thing. This is also why I have this channel. It's like purely just mostly for me. If some other people watch this and they will connect to that, then that's like fine, but this is mostly for like me, for like experiencing stuff. And for example, now even I wasn't really like watch the documentary, but I was like, I'm going to watch this and I'm going to like talk about stuff. Maybe it will kind of like, watching this will motivate me to like give my own opinions and talk a little bit more, because that's what I also wanted to do. That's why I started to like making videos where I talk about the broader topics of things, like for example the AI video and the thing about Asmongold video. I want to just like try this stuff and like experience myself more. That's what I could like call this, maybe. I know it's like people will be saying, oh, why you just don't go to therapy? Like, I don't have anything to therapy myself from. Like, I understand, like, you know, other people doing this and like fighting off their PTSD and like relieving their, you know, traumas and stuff and like crying and like, you know, going to therapy and stuff. But like, I think the way my brain works, it's like, it doesn't really affect me. The fact that I was like raped, molested, like bullied and stuff, it doesn't really like affect me. It gave me more like experiences and shit, but like I don't think it's something I want to like therapy myself from. I can like talk about it a little bit, I can open up about it, but it's more like to just like not even to understand myself, because I understand myself. I always understood myself, you know. I just think like I wouldn't need therapy because there's nothing I have to work out. Of course, I hate the fact that this shit happened to me, but it's like, I never thought it's like my fault. And I think mostly people like have this feeling like that was their fault that this happened. People don't have this, mostly doesn't have this feeling like that person did wrong and I was like the victim of it. But like it's not like it was my fault or like I made somebody do this to me or something. I just think like those people just did it and that just happened, you know. And like me not like, for example, defending myself from it was just like a failed quick time event, you know. I could call this like that. Like I just couldn't do anything and I just failed that. Or like I failed this quest and stuff. And like I know it's a little bit weird to like think about your life in a perspective of like a game. Like I failed a quick time event, I failed this quest, I didn't do that. That's how I think, and it's like the easiest way to collect this stuff in a way that I can understand it. It's never your fault unless like you kind of like provoked it and you know it's like you started it. It's not your fault unless like you started it. It's not your fault unless like you did something that made it happen, you know. But it's like a very tricky thing because it's like a butterfly effect. Like for example in Life is Strange, whatever you do will then just be like, you know, the next thing, you know, happens, and it's like just because you did this action. Most of the time it's not anybody's fault. And like if anybody will ever watch this, probably I will make it as the video on my YouTube, but if anybody will ever hear me saying this, it's not your fault and never been. People have to just like understand it. Like the fact that I was raped, you know, molested, and like the fact that I was bullied, I never thought it was my fault. I always thought there's like something wrong with people. It's even good whenever I hear people saying like, oh, they are just jealous of you, you know, whenever it's like you have to think of you to yourself like, oh, they are just jealous of you, because they are. Mostly like, for example, like theater kids are like, you know, bullied and stuff because those people who bully them never wanted to like try and came out of their like comfort zone and just like the theater stuff, play, be an actor and whatnot. And it's just like that's like a very brief and very like on the surface like example, but that's like something that could be, you know, thought of now. Yeah, it's like, it's not me, it's them, you know. It's not like I think people are evil, but people just like do things to others because they try to compensate somehow that they are not doing it or not being that, or there's like something they have to compensate for and they won't even understand it. But that's how the brain works, you know. As much as I was always like researching about the brain and stuff and thinking and just like understanding things, you know. Yeah, it's like viewing somebody as an object, it's just like pricked up sick thing to me. And it's like I never looked at people this way. It's like whenever I am like even doing something, I'm like, I even have this thing where I don't really want to ask people to do other things for me, like for example even like get something heavier that I cannot like put from one place to the other. I still think that I am like treating somebody as they are doing something for me, like like I am using them, you know. Like I know this is like a little bit extreme of me, that's, you know, I cannot just do something and I won't ask somebody, but it's, you know, that's also like the more extreme example that I know of that I am doing like in my everyday life. But I know people just like have to like for some reason use people, and it's just like embedded in their mind from the very beginning. Like, oh, it reminds me of this episode of Friends whenever Phoebe was like telling to Joey that they had this like thing with like doing the stuff, examples of things you can do without just like gaining something for it. That was, I don't remember much else of this episode, but I know it was a thing. So like people actually are aware of something like that. But I think this thing, like this particular topic, is not much explored nowadays, even with all of those like series that have to be like inclusive and stuff and whatever, and all about like, you know, the people and stuff. They should explore those kind of things more, you know.
It wasn't I was everything.
No, to be honest, like I don't think it would be like messing up with myself, because like I already took it, and like I don't think like it would mess me up more. I would just like discover myself more and more once, like every time I can, because it's like, you know, the shrooms wash out from your body for after some time. So it's just like, you know, if you were like taking it more, it would be just like you would grow like more, you know, more resistant to it and stuff. So it's like I wouldn't just be doing this all the time. I would be just doing this once. Like, maybe I would like to try it once, but not like a very like big dose or anything, just to like experience it. And then I would just have like another experience in me. This is why I want to like try new stuff, and I want to like experience things even if I do them once, because I just want to do it. And it's like I would be like then in this next category, like I know calling it like category of people who aren't like really better, but who done more stuff than the others. I know it kind of sounds very classist and stuff, but it's just like that's how I could just like call it. It would be just like I would get to like the next category in my life that I tried something newer, and then I would just like feel happy about it, that I experience it, and I am like in this another like group of people who done that. And then with the next thing and the next thing, you know, until it will be like something that not many people tried, or there will be just like only one other person who did this or something. Like I would like to have this kind of like experiences too. I think that would be pretty like interesting. Think about this, the way like the brain can actually do that. Yes, the brain loves to create, but it's like this is all in your head, and this is what your brain has in itself all this time, but it's like you don't access it every day because, you know, like now you're not having this switch. Like the drugs are the switch to this thing where you can like access all those deep thoughts that are in your brain, or all this stuff that you create. Like think of it the way like it's still going on in your brain. Your brain never stops working. Even when you sleep, your brain is still working to some capacity, you know. Your body is still working. Like it's not just like switching off like a computer, you know. And it's like it's still working, and you still have all those weird stuff, those weird imaginary things, those puzzled doors, everything they were talking about. It's in your head at this very moment right now, but you don't have access to it. It's like something like this folder that you do not open, you know. And it's like with the drugs you open that and you just see what your brain sees all this time, you know. This is what I think. Like it's like this aquarium, you know. It's like, and it's like maybe not even the aquarium, but it's like, you know, the ocean, and it's like deep down the things that you will never see see and you don't see, and the things that humans weren't like able to research and see yet, you know. Everything that you don't see is there, like anything. Even if you think about something in your like drawer or whatever, it's still there. It doesn't like really go away. So it's the same like with all of those imagination stuff, like from your brain, like all those fractals or those, this is what your brain have, but like whenever you are like very conscious and every day in your life, you just won't see it because that's how your brain works, and then you have to like access it. And I think that people were able to like at least once, every single human on this earth was once able to access that. It would probably just change their feeling and like maybe remove a brain rot from some people, you know, because it's like the purest thing that is there in your body, you know, and you cannot like access it all the time, you know what I mean? Purest form of what thoughts looks like. Like I see it this way, like maybe we kind of like might see some of those thoughts because if people are like more creative and then they just like paint stuff and whatnot, they can kind of like access those thoughts. You have them all the time in your brain and you don't see them, and then you activate them and it's like, but you just don't see it actively. And I think that's like a really beautiful thing in a brain, and that's why I also want to like do drugs, because I want to like access this part of my brain, you know. I want to look into this drawer, you know. And it's like, I think all of this stuff that we are seeing as those fractals or these weird shapes or these weird lights, like the thoughts, the way the thoughts look in the brain, it would be really hard for somebody to like explain what are thoughts. Because for some people, thoughts are just like letters. For some people, thoughts is just like pictures, you know. The same like blood is flowing in our body. And if you've seen that, it would just look weird and not normal for you, but it's like something that is happening all the time. I think the same is like with brain, but like with those weird like things that you might not think it's reality, but like it's the thing in your brain. I don't know, that's how I kind of like understand it, but you know. I think it would be funny if Asmongold tried shrooms once. I bet your ass he would like probably, some shit would happen with his brain, you know. And then not even in a bad way, you know. But like, I think he would benefit from that. Even though he said that he's not about drugs and all those recreational stuff, but I would like to smoke weed with Asmongold once. That would be so fucking funny.
There was no I. There was just a sense of a witness.
I would love to see his reaction to fractals when he sees them, you know. While we would take shrooms.
Stained glass.
That would be so funny. I guess that I just have this thing where I'm more like, I'm like deep, not that much deeply, but like I feel like I am very connected with my brain, and it's like anything that I say, it's not like because of somebody's something or I am influenced by anything, but like say stuff and not be influenced by anything. And like if I hear something, it's like I get to this thinking, like it's not like I agree with this person, but it's like I hear something that I couldn't like say myself with words, you know, like the thoughts that I was having. Like for example, now those people are saying things and I'm like agreeing with them because it's like something that I also thought, but I never like put into the words or didn't really knew how to put it into the words. So that's how I am like mostly like thinking whenever I am like listening or watching something and somebody says something and I'm like, yep, that I agree to that, that's right. Because it's like something that I had in my brain long before those people said this. Now I could just like have this in words kind of like, and I can like start from there to like saying stuff. Maybe that's why also I talking more things and making this like experimental like kind of talking kind of like a podcasty kind of thing like I do now. I expose myself to like a lot of like thoughts, thinking, and more like videos that just like say stuff about things that is just like I can like voice things and expand on the topics. And like I have this thing, like I have like this some sort of like example of something, and then I can just like expand on it. That's how I am like taking this, what I'm doing right now.
And I don't believe anybody should enter this lightly. It is
life.
Yeah, it's like I think about this like it's recreational, but it's not like exactly recreational, because like I'm doing this like for myself, and like the recreation I take as this thing where I am having like a time to indulge myself into doing something that will benefit me or make me understand me more better, you know. That's how I see the recreational, and that's like the mindset wherever I am like doing things.
Very tricky mixture of authentic religious experience with gods and messages and clear signs, and a sort of remarkable mirror of the mind.
I think that this is like this is a little bit of my approach too. It's just like I just don't want to like do drugs just to do drugs and like, you know, experience like funny stuff and whatever. Like I also want to like kind of research myself a little bit. I know it's not like this stuff, not like exactly what they do, because they would like to also use the drugs for good, you know, just to like help the humanity and stuff. But like I do this to like first get to know myself, and then it would be pretty neat if people were just like taking the drugs and just like first like exploring themselves, understanding themselves, and then just like to help each other like get through all of those like problems that we have now. I bet you ass that probably all those tribes and those people who do this, you know, in this, you know, those all Amazon tribes and like other people who just like live their lives away from the capitalism and American kind of stuff and whatnot. It's just like I think they have this like better understanding of their society, still doing these drugs, and it's not like something illegal for them. It's like they do this not to just like get high and fuck and whatever, but it's just like I think they have this kind of like bigger understanding, which I bet that all like people from our civilization now, like all those civilized people, you know, in America and Europe and everywhere, are like not gonna really do unless we like really open ourselves. But like there is a bigger majority of people who like won't do that, even if you shown them this documentary and shown them that this is something like smart and this is something that you could do. I don't think they would do. But like I am open for that. I am like, take me in. I wanna help you with research. You know, I'm here. I'm open for, you know, science. You know, this documentary is not just about like experiencing drugs as drugs, but also like using drugs to like help in things. You know, that's the thing.
The door to another dimension, and perhaps, just perhaps, our future evolution.
Yeah, but we don't want to evolve. That's the worst part. Most of the people do not want to evolve.